Voices rise through the veil, beyond disguise, psychic tales and spectral skies, the spirit lounge where mystery lies.
Welcome to the Spirit Lounge. I'm Bella.
And I'm Donna. Today we are diving into The Woman Who Made Psychic Readings a daytime TV event.
Love her, side-eye her, Sylvia Browne shaped how the world saw mediums. So let's talk about her legacy, her misses, and her magic.
Well, a little bit about her first. Sylvia Browne, Sylvia Celeste Shoemaker Browne,
That's a mouthful.
yeah, that it is, was born on October 19th, 1936. She claimed to have psychic abilities from childhood, saying she could see spirits and glimpse future events. Her calm, authoritative tone and unapologetic confidence landed her on major talk shows. So she was on Montel Williams, she was Larry King Live, she was on dozens more shows. Mm-hmm. She wrote over 40 books, ran workshops, and built a multi-million-dollar brand around spirituality. So for many people, she gave confidence, and for others, a lot of eye rolling and a lot of controversy. You know, she lived very much at the crossroads of fame and faith.
I think so. I'm like, people, there's two things with Sylvia Browne. You either loved her or you hated her.
Yes.
There's no in between. Like, she's the only one that I really know that it's like either one or the other. And from my perspective, she was a gifted psychic. She did have some mediumistic abilities, but she, towards the end, I don't know if it was psychic burnout or just her ego, because she thought that because she was famous for being a psychic, that she had to be right all the time. And that made her ignore some of her intuition. Because seriously, like her being on Montel, that's what I know her from, is the Montel Williams show. And to tell you the truth, I used to watch it because it was just entertaining.
Well, yeah, I mean, I watched Dr. Phil for the same reason.
But just to watch her like shoot down somebody.
But when she made predictions that, you know, I'm sure she had lots that were right.
Yeah.
But her wrongs were so big.
They were huge.
Yep.
The problem was she didn't really. I can't explain it, because you could see her down. Like, if you watch videos of her at her peak when she was reeling into doing the predictions, I really cared about, and not to say that she didn't towards the end, but that when she was really into it, like that's what she wanted to do, you could see it. Physically, you see the way the way she changed. Like, she looked different. And then when she started going on the Montel Williams show, like religiously, I think she used to go on every Wednesday or something like that. That's where you see the changes in her. She started to look more gaunt and more older, and just the stuff that was coming out of her mouth, she really didn't care anymore. You could see. It was just like the person hadn't even asked the question yet. Finished asking the question. She's already responding with the wrong answer.
Well, to her, everybody was dead. They're dead.
Dead. Like, the one where I remember the most is like the lady was... She was asking about a uncle, which I will pull up that. And the lady didn't even get it out. She was just asking where her uncle was. She's like, he drowned.
Yeah. Like there's, and her predictions, like I said, the ones that were wrong were so wrong that because she was predicting on huge events. Like,
Well, I would never, ever, ever, ever do, especially with missing people. Missing people is difficult. That you really need to be able to concentrate and look at it, and be able to. You, as a psychic, you don't want all the facts, because you don't want that clouding your judgment. You also don't want to work with the family, because the family is emotionally involved and they're going to cloud your judgment. You want to work with someone like a police officer or someone that's like doing the investigation, to stand back. So they're only going to be there with the facts. They're not going to have that emotion that's going to be able to cloud you as a psychic.
right.
So, and you're going to go in, and there's certain things that you're going to be able to dive in that you don't want the family members to know, because, you know, going on a national television, and, you know, let's just say she was right. Let's just say she was right with some of those things. Well, if this person is still out there and hasn't been caught, she's now releasing information that the police didn't want out, right? So she's now impeding on that case.
Yes.
And she shouldn't do that. She shouldn't be doing that. So part of the reason is Montel she should have put boundaries up to protect herself being out there. And like, there's certain rules here that I will only do this, blah, blah, blah. Like, there's certain questions that I will ask. Anything that has to do with missing people, if they want to know something, I'll give them my information so they can contact me. I will not do that on air.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? And I saw that there were certain things that they actually predicted that she did because they were only allowed to ask one question. And she gave the answer, and that's it, and they sat down. So that must have been something that they put into effect beforehand, because it seems to be that whenever there's different clips of it, that's what she's like. They asked her one question, she answers it, and they sit down. And but I also watched a couple of them where when the person would challenge her, she'd get upset, and they would say, "Well, you really didn't answer my question." She's like, "Yes, I did." Oh, yes, I did. I think one of them, which I want to pull up this clip, is like she didn't even let the lady finish. And this is where her message kind of got a little twisted. And it's difficult because when you're in a crowd, you're picking up a lot of stuff. The lady said she wanted to know about I think it was her husband who passed away in 9/11. And she wanted to know how her question, if Sylvia had let her finish, she would have been able to get it right. She said, "I want to know how my husband's doing." And Sylvia cut her off and said, "He drowned." And then and then the lady goes, "Actually, he died in 9/11. He was a fireman." Now, being a medium myself, I know she saw water, and that's how she got the connection with that. But instead of letting the lady finish so that she can actually finish her own thought and see what it was, she just like automatically answered. And then I don't know what she kind of like backtracked out after and looked at Montel and said, "Oh, because he was a fireman, that's what I saw. I saw water," which is correct. But you let them finish the question first.
Yeah, she jumped on that.
She jumped on that, and then it made her look like a fool because she was, I don't know which I think she was just trying to make it look like she knew it. I think she was really a psychic burnout at that point, and she was just doing it for the money.
I mean, she did make psychic conversations in mainstream media very accepted, right?
She brought that out.
She brought it out for sure.
Kudos to her, because if it wasn't, she is one of the most talked about psychic mediums out there, because of the fact that, yeah, she made it look normal. So people that were doing it in the back rooms, doing tarot, whatever, she made it okay for people to come out and do that stuff. People like me to come out. Did she do but she also did some damage.
She did, yes.
Right? So it's like a double-edged sword. It was great because we got to see what it really was, and we got to see somebody doing what we did, and she didn't have any fear, and she was confident and all that other stuff. But then she also, the money, I think the pressure of having to perform, because you could see it took a toll on her.
So do you think what she was doing gave audiences what they cared about more? Was it knowing the truth, or that she gave them a feeling of hope? Even if she's telling them their loved one, oh, they're gone, they're dead, at least that felt like closure to that person, even if they haven't found that loved one yet?
I think a lot of it was people were desperate. People were desperate. They wanted to get some information, and they were like, okay, well, this is my chance, because she's supposed to be world renowned, right? This is what they've put, the pressure that she's put on herself. She's world renowned. She knows everything. She's predicted all of these different things. So I'm going to ask her this question. And instead of her being honest and saying, I honestly don't know, like, I don't know, it's okay for you not to know. You're human. And say, if you want, contact me. We can do a deeper dive on this. Instead of doing that and being honest, she made some really bad choices that affected those people's lives.
Yes.
Right? Because there's still people, I mean, the one case which is kind of really turned for her was the Amanda Berry case. That's the one that everybody brings up.
Well, the whole work, because when that happened, for anyone that doesn't know about that happened in Cleveland, and there was 3 girls that were held. One was 10 years.
Yeah. I think the first one was 10
The
years.
first one was 10 years.
Yeah.
And Amanda Berry was one of the girls that was taken that ended up having a baby with the guy.
Yeah.
And Sylvia Browne told the parents that she was dead.
Yeah.
And she ended up being found like
I think it was a
couple
three-
of years.
3 years later.
Yeah.
But because of her saying that, her mother ended up dying before that.
Yes.
Before she was dead. So there was a ripple effect. So myself being a medium, I am very conscious of what I'm saying and what I'm doing. So if I'm not 100% sure on something, I much rather share it. That's why I'm like, she had information on Amanda Berry. She should have shared it with the police officer, whoever is involved. So that way it was, the information wasn't sent to the parents. The parents would have never known. So, but
even still, if she was to share that with the police department, if it was someone that took her very seriously, that could lead the investigation in the wrong direction too.
it could.
Yeah.
It could. So that's why it's like you wait for them to come to you. I've known other psychics that they're like, yeah, I've contacted the police officers that are involved in this case, blah, 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 and this and that. And I'm just like, well, are you 100% sure with your information? Like, are you 100% sure? Or is this just a hunch that you got, or you just whatever? It's hard. Like, how do you know? With me, I've been involved in a couple of different things where it's like there's missing cases and things like that. But when I've been involved in a couple of those, I always choose the ones that I'm going to be involved with. And I do ask for items so that I can hold them, if I'm able to hold them or be in the proximity of it, so that I know I'm in that energy of that person and I can actually, get in there. I don't, unless I'm 100% sure that the person has passed over, which I have had it a couple of times where people have come. I didn't know that the person was missing. One was a son that came through and wanted to know about his dad, who'd been missing for like years. And the father came in, and he came in so strongly. And it wasn't until at the end that the son said, my dad's been missing for like 10, 12 years or something like that. And I said, and he says, are you honest? Is he passed? And I said, well, all of the information he's showing me is that he is passed. And there was a lot of different information. Like, there was so much information that I could not say to him that he was alive. He had passed. But that's rare. It is rare. Normally when someone else comes to me and they have some type of missing stuff, it's usually I always ask to talk to someone else that's not the family.
Right.
That's just my protocol. That's what I've set out. Not everybody works that way, but that's the way I prefer to work it.
There was people too that said, like a lot of skeptics that said she generalized everything so that it could fit.
Yeah.
To make it fit the scenario, to make it fit the story.
Yeah.
So if you're that, excuse me, if you're that general, I guess you could.
It's gonna fit everybody.
It's gonna fit everybody.
She was funny. Like, there was funny moments. I like the Montel Williams show. I have to say, is her swan song. Although she did go on and do other shows.
I mean, she was on Larry King Live. That was a big show.
She was on Larry King. She was on a few different ones. But again, every single episode she went on, out of the predictions that she put, I don't really. I think maybe a handful of them really were like, real predictions, and the other ones were just guesses. Like, she told this one girl that her father had run away and was living in Florida, and the girl just burst into tears. And she said, and then the lady, the host was the one. It wasn't even Sylvia. It was the host that said, does that ring true? And she said, no, but thank you, and sat down. Like,
there was one that she told the family that they had a missing daughter, and the daughter, she said she was working as a dancer in Florida.
Oh, God.
And it turned out the daughter, they had found her remains.
For some reason, she has something with Florida, because you know how many times she tells people they're in Florida?
Well, that's because it's Florida.
I mean, but they could be anywhere else in the world, and she's picking Florida. So yeah, because for some reason, most of her predictions I've seen, someone's in Florida. Like there could be on the other side of America, and they've ended up in Florida.
They're either dead or dancing in Florida.
Yes. They're at the Pink Pony Club in Florida. So yeah, she's. I mean, kudos to her to have the courage to come out and do that, and be able to do that. But I mean, there was a lot of, like, I've read a couple of her books, and a lot of it's rooted in religion. It's very religious and things like that. So I think she got to a certain level and she developed, and that was all, and that was good. And she didn't really go past that.
But she created a religion.
Did she? I
Yeah,
remember
there
her
was-
that.
I
There's something
did-
about her. She might have. I mean,
I was looking up stuff on her earlier, and one of the things was about her. So I'm sorry, I don't know this off the top of my head. She was raised mostly as a Catholic. She was said to have an Episcopalian mother, a Lutheran maternal grandmother, a Jewish father, and relatives from all these faiths.
that's a lot.
Right? Holidays at their house must have been just
It's
wild.
just crazy. It's one after the other.
She said she started seeing visions at the age of 3, and her grandmother, who she said was also a psychic medium, helped her understand what they meant. And she said that her great uncle was a psychic medium and was rabid, that's her words, rabid about UFOs,
Okay.
right? She started working as a psychic in 1973, and in 1986, she founded a Gnostic Christian church.
Wow, I never heard about that.
Yep, and it was in Campbell, California, and it was known as the Society of Novus Spirituous. Yeah. Does that not sound like something you'd see on Bugs Bunny?
Yes, for sure. For sure.
She was also the head of the Sylvia Browne Corporation and Sylvia Browne Enterprises. So this is where it gets dicey. I know I'm going a little bit off of our script here.
Oh no, for sure. I doesn't matter. Go for it.
So her business manager did an interview that said her businesses were earning $3 million a year. And she went on she was telling everybody that she had seen heaven and angels.
Oh God, yeah.
And she professed the ability to speak with a spirit guide named Francine. And she received a wide range of vibrational frequencies. So there is a part in here that I was reading. Oh, this was about her false predictions. But she got charged with a fraud conviction in the 1980s.
Oh.
Yeah. Did she see it coming? I don't think so.
I don't think so. She should have.
During the late 1980s, the FBI and local authorities began investigating Browne and her business over several bank loans that resulted in sustained losses to the banks. In 1992, Browne and her then husband, Kenzell Dazzle Browne, were indicted on several counts of investment fraud and grand theft. And she put up no contest.
Because she knew she was
fair
what
and
she was
square,
doing.
they caught her. And there was a securities thing and a gold mining venture that they took out loans for, but it was under false pretense. So in one instant, they told a couple that their $20,000 investment, so someone was investing in her company. She took $20,000 from someone and said that that investment would be used for immediate operating costs in this gold thing that they had going on.
wow.
Instead, the funds were transferred to an account for their Nirvana Foundation for Psychic Research.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so she pled no contest to securities fraud, was indicted on grand larceny in 1992, and she and her husband each received 1 year of probation, and Browne was also sentenced to 200 hours of community service. Right?
Wow.
How do you like those apples?
Now I understand why she was on Montel Williams so much. She must have been making money to pay off some stuff.
Right? She needed the cash.
She needed the cash.
So she made many, we were talking about some of her false statements. In 2002, She informed the parents of 11-year-old Sean Hornback, who had disappeared earlier that year, that he had been kidnapped by a dark-skinned Hispanic man with dreadlocks and was now deceased. So every parent's worst nightmare.
Oh, I know. That'd be devastating.
The child was found alive in 2007. His kidnapper was a Caucasian, short-haired male.
Wow, was she off?
Right? I know that. I know that feeling. I know that feeling.
Oh my God, I'm snorting. I shouldn't be, because I mean, we're not perfect, but I mean, come on.
That's like to tell parents that their
That's
child,
like my worst nightmare. Like my worst nightmare.
Yeah.
I would never, please, oh God, please don't let that happen.
But in 2008, there was a UK television network that actually sanctioned the Montel Williams show, that they could not air her original show of saying that.
Wow.
Yeah, they weren't allowed to show the original prediction. In November 2004, this is the one about Amanda Berry. Brown told the mother of kidnapping victim Amanda Berry, who had disappeared 19 months earlier, she's not alive, honey.
Yeah, it's just like that, like cold like that.
Yeah, and Brown also said that Berry was in water.
They're always in water.
They're always in water. I'm funny it was in Florida. And that she had a vision of Berry's jacket in the garbage that had DNA on it. The Berry's mother died 2 years later, believing her daughter had been killed, but she was found alive in 2013. On Larry King in 2003, Brown predicted that she would die at the age of 88. She died in 2013 at the age of 77.
She probably would have. She would have laid off the cigarettes.
Well, I mean, she hit the double digits, right? Because 88, 77.
She was off by 10 years.
She was off by, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, in psychic world, give or take. But yeah, that, oh my God. Is there any more false ones?
Oh,
I mean, there's a plethora.
That was just her biggest ones.
I have a little video here if you want to hear this one.
Sure.
Where it's like, oh my God, these are hilarious. Hold on. With her.
Disappeared about 20-something. Father's brother disappeared about 20-something years ago, and the whole family has no idea whether he's alive or dead. He drowned.
In Florida.
Sylvia, my parents divorced when I was 2 years old, and I don't know my biological father.
You don't want to.
Okay.
Oh, my.
Question. Our son has been missing for 9 years.
Your son has been missing for 9 years?
Yeah. And although we have found the car, we have never found his body. Is anything coming?
Was this a dark colored car?
No.
Because it looks like has something to do with a dark colored car, like a tan Chevy.
No.
Well, now wait a minute, because when I work with the police department, we have to tie everything in. This is going to be such a long process. Why don't you call me at the office later?
You should have
Because
done that
I
from the
think
beginning,
that
Sylvia.
I think this has been a kidnapping thing.
Okay, can you tell me if he's dead or alive?
I think he's still alive.
Well, finally, one's
Do you
alive.
have any area that he might be located in?
Canada.
Maybe he's Justin Trudeau.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's just like unreal. This is, and that one, the last one was actually her younger. So she actually, that's the proper way she should have answered. Like, hey, you know what? I'm getting something with a tan vehicle, and I'm not 100% sure. So why don't you call the office and we'll look more into this?
We'll talk,
because
yeah.
you know, maybe the tan vehicle, maybe it did have something to do with it, and she's not. This is what she's seeing, just stuff. But again, I would be like, you know, have someone else kind of like call in or whatever for you. But it just,
I've been having dizzy spells for
There's
the
this-
longest time, and I want
Watch.
to know if there's something really wrong with me, and will it affect my
whenever
career?
this happens, I always say, go see a doctor. But yeah, but you have labyrinthitis, which means you have, sounds like you have just water in your ears from a sinus.
Sinuses? I haven't had any sinus problems.
Well, honey, you don't have to have a sinus. You don't have to have a snotty nose to have upper sinus.
Is that affecting my career?
And it goes into your ears.
Will that affect her career? Will that affect her career? Okay, all right, let me just...
I mean, you know, she could take any antihistamine. That's what a doctor should have recommended, and dry up the ears.
she's giving medical
Rob
advice.
here, how about this thing about the beauty thing? with plastic surgery. What did you say? It's gonna
There
happen?
is going to be some kind of a thing that they fit over your face, and it's some kind of electrical, again, heat element, electrical, that will mold your face. It will actually mold it into shape the way you want it.
So you can change your appearance.
Well, you can refine it. You know, like those of us that are getting mature.
But
It
those of
will-
us that
it will lift and, pull, and without that, all that.
This is one of
this is
her.
one for the next century, but this is one I thought was very poignant.
I wish they would get moving on that.
I know. I'd love to have that.
Right?
One planetary government.
When will
yes.
this take place?
This will take about 2050. It'll be, 2050.
She might be right on that.
I
Yeah.
gotta go to this break. Let me. How about space? And space. No more gas.
And man will have a space station on the moon to go out further into space.
When will that happen? Approximately.
About between 2026 and 2050.
Okay.
She might be right about that, too.
babies.
Well, we'll see.
Babies will be birthed where?
Always in water now, with beautiful lights and beautiful music, and babies will be birthed in water.
Probably in Florida.
Okay. Peace. Great earth changes will occur, and germ warfare will be used before the world finds peace.
Right, germ warfare. I think we're already into that. I think with the AIDS and all this other stuff, germ warfare. But we will come
That
to
she's
a time
probably
of
right.
the age of the Messiah, where there will be peace that reigns.
I gotta say, as you say, peace will last from the year 2050 until 2100.
And I don't see anything beyond that, Montel.
Which means?
Well, I do believe, like our Lord said, no man can predict the end. He said that twice. But I just don't see the world beyond that point, 2100.
2100.
Now let's all worry about that, okay?
I'll be long gone.
I'll be- yeah.
Break. We'll be back right after
I'll
this.
be on the other side.
Yeah.
But yeah, so those last predictions, could it be right? I don't know. Based on what was going on in that world at that time when this was done on the Montel Williams show, she probably saw the trajectory going that way. So, she could have been right. She could have been wrong. I don't know.
But it's close enough to where we are now
It
that
is.
we will see if that's right or wrong.
That's why I say some of her things as that being a psychic, she was good with that. Mediumistically, not so good.
So there was actually a study done about her, a 3-year study.
I can't believe somebody spent 3 years.
They did. In 2010, it was called the Skeptical Inquirer, published a detailed 3-year study by this man and woman. They examined her predictions about missing persons
Okay.
and murder cases. So despite her repeated claims to be more than 85% correct, the study reported that Browne had not even been mostly correct in a single case. So they studied only cases that people knew the outcome, that they had.
So they had the results.
They had the results. The study compared Browne's televised statements about 115 cases.
Wow,
a lot.
that's a lot of cases.
And found that in the 25 cases where the actual outcome was known, she was completely wrong in every one. In the
Odds are against her.
right? In the rest, where the outcome was unknown, her predictions could not be substantiated. So the study concluded that the media outlets that repeatedly promoted Browne's work had no visible concern about whether she was untrustworthy or harmed people. Which is kind of true, right? They were doing it for...
Yeah, okay, so they weren't looking at the emotional thing. They were just looking at, like, the pure fact, like, wrong or wrong. Like,
Well, yeah, but the media outlets that were like Montel Williams, right? It was about the money
oh, it's about
that they
the
were
entertainment.
the entertainment value, the viewership, right? They wanted
Oh, for sure,
all
because
that stuff.
he always said that he's like, when she would come on, it would be, like, the most popular show. I only watched really Montel Williams when she was on because I wanted to see what she was going to say. It was just funny.
Yeah, so they one of the ones in 1999, Browne said that 6-year-old Opal Jo Jennings, who had disappeared a month earlier, had been forced into slavery in Japan. This is what she was telling.
That's pretty specific.
Right? Later that year, a local man was convicted of kidnapping and murdering Jennings. In 2003, an autopsy of Jennings' remains found that she had died within hours of her abduction. So she was not a slave in Japan.
Oh, God. This woman, like, the trail of misinformation and, like, just a lot of the needless adding to the people's suffering. Like,
Right.
really.
There was a mine disaster.
Oh, I know this one. Yeah.
Yeah, the Sago mine in West Virginia. Mm-hmm. Trapped several miners underground. The following day, Brown was a guest on the radio show Coast to Coast AM with Gregory Norrie.
I saw that one, actually, that episode.
Really?
I saw it, yeah.
Yeah, at the start of the broadcast, it was believed that 12 of 13 miners trapped by the disaster had been found alive, and when Norrie asked Brown if the reported lack of noise from inside the mine might have led her to think that the men had died, she replied, "No, I knew they were going to be found." Later in the program, it was discovered that the earlier news reports had been an error. Brown said, "I don't think there's anyone alive. Maybe one. I just don't think they're alive." And she didn't believe that any of them survived.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a lot to her.
She, that particular Coast to Coast, he never had her on again after that. Because during the commercial break, he asked her on live, but he also asked her before the commercial break. That's why they went on. And he asked her that prediction. She's like, yeah, they're all alive or whatever it was. And then after it came back and when they went to commercial again, he asked her again, that whole thing. And then she said she knew. She goes, oh yeah, I knew that they were already dead. And he's like, well, what? Like, you can't know both. You can't say that they're alive and then that they're dead after the report comes out that it's wrong. And he was like, I never had. He never really, like, then he mentioned her. I remember watching another episode, and there was another psychic that was on, and he mentioned her. He didn't say her name. He goes, but there was a psychic here we only had her on that one time, and we'll never have her on again. And I think he kind of, like, asked about her. And I think to be honest with you, I think she learned to develop her psychic abilities as she went along. Because as you start to do this, you start to be in it, you start to come on. So your psychic abilities are, start to grow. But some people had readings with her and said that she was 100% accurate, that she was amazing. But, when you're watching her live, I know I am not 100% accurate. And I try my best, especially like in the group reading, it's very difficult because you got a lot of things coming at you. Right? So, I mean, you've seen me in a group reading. Sometimes I'm trying to figure out who it is that's coming through, so I'm giving the person the right information. But I'm also at that part in my head dissecting some of the information because I'm just like, well, some of this I can't say live here because there's a lot of people here. So you do the best you can. But, maybe because of the fact that she was the very first one, she didn't really know what she was doing or how she's coming about, and she was really just kind of going by it. And then she saw the money started coming in, rolling in, and then at that point, she really didn't give a crap about what she was saying. It was like, no, I don't care. When you're getting paid, regardless, does it really matter? Because at this point, you have a 50-50 chance of being right or wrong.
Well, that's where it comes into the ethics, right?
Yeah, which she lost those. That was out the window a long time ago. And if you start from the very beginning and you start to see the earlier ones when she was on, she did have some because as you can tell, with the lady, she's like, there's a tan card, blah, 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 call me, we'll go through it. And then somewhere along the line, money started coming in, she lost, something went out, and she just didn't care anymore. So
she was married 4 times.
Of course she was.
Right? Did she not know the first 3 weren't going to work? I am not psychic. I am not a medium. I don't even trust my own instincts half the time. So, but she was married 4 times, and she suffered a heart attack on March 21st while in Hawaii.
I think she was trying to find someone that was going to help her. Like, it was like, I'm pretty sure each one of those men that came in with, she probably lost money with them. And she probably had to, start over somewhere.
Well, her last marriage the guy was the owner of a jewelry store. So.
Well, I mean, there's that.
There's that, right?
I mean, her claims that she she keeps saying the same thing, that she received her gifts, and like she made it sound like, she was divinely like baptized with these gifts, and then I think she has 3 children, and apparently only one of them is really psychic, and which I can say that's BS right now because everybody's born with intuition. Now, if that one son is the one who learned to develop it and decided to go down that route, 100%. But then they've also said some sketchy things about him too. I mean, his mother, Sylvia Browne.
Well, there's always going to be people that you could be the best in the world, and there's still going to be
Yeah.
people that are going to criticize that, or, there's people that don't believe in it. There's people
No.
that don't believe in God or heaven
Yeah.
or angels or devil or any of that, right? They're just,
Yeah.
you're here, you die, you're done.
There is, but then there's the other factor where it comes in when you get into the entertainment thing, and they don't care about your ethics. They want it to be entertaining. They want to be able to make the money, and that's where you're as a psychic and trying to get you're trying to get your word out there. You're trying to spread your word, and it's easiest way to do it is through social media. But when you've lost that control because someone else is taking it and making it, this is my thing. Yes, watching a psychic and a medium do their thing is entertaining, but a psychic medium is not entertainment because you're working with people's feelings.
Right.
And if you're with a network or something that doesn't understand that, then there's a problem because they're always going to focus on the controversial part of it because that's entertaining. And they're always going to edit it in a way that you're not always going to look this well because, let's face it, controversy sells. Right?
Yeah, that's right.
Right?
Yeah.
So
nobody wants to ever hear good news. They want the
No.
bad stuff, right?
And every once in a while you hear one good thing and it's kind of like overshadowed. So, I mean, was she the devil? Was she a prophet? I think, she could be both.
All right, well, it's that time. Are we going to call BS or Beyond the Sylvia edition?
I would, you know what? I would honestly say she's both.
Yeah.
She was both. She was a complicated woman. She had issues in her own life, and I'm sure some of that bled into her psychic abilities. She had to make a living. I'm sure at some point she was the one who was supporting some of the men that she had married. She was supporting her children.
Yeah,
so
true.
it's like when you're in the middle of that and you're looking around and you're like, I have things that I have to support. I have a business that I'm running that's gotten probably out of hand, out of control. Because just because you're a psychic doesn't always mean that you're good at your business or you know what's going on.
She was very charismatic. I'll
She
give her
was.
that. Like
She
was
was.
very charismatic.
She did her stuff. She obviously didn't. She lost control somewhere along the line.
But she had that voice, right?
It got deeper with the more cigarettes, and I believe she probably smoked a lot because of the fact that she was probably stressed. And just think about it. Think about your now name has exploded. Everybody knows. So you're a psychic. And the one thing people always know about psychics is not know, but the people that this is the thing that's out there is that you know everything, right? You're supposed to know everything. Why don't you know everything? And it's like, that's not how it works. But people don't know how it works. So now you've got this out there. So people are coming to you for answers. They're looking at you like, come on, give me the answer. And instead of saying, I don't know, because, she had some ego and everything else. Instead of being honest and saying, hey, this is a little bit out of my realm. I don't know what this is. I'm sorry, but I'm going to leave you.
I don't know doesn't sell, though.
No. So she would give them an answer. Maybe behind the scenes, she was made to give an answer.
Yeah.
We don't know.
That's very possible, yeah.
Right? She was made to give an answer. And so she was like, fine. If I'm going to be, I'm just going to go walk away from this with coin and whatever. And because at that time didn't have like the whole internet thing the way we have it now, she was like, okay, I'm going to go. So now that's why it's like a lot of stuff is coming out. We're like, oh my God, look how are you kidding me? Can you imagine some of the psychics doing some of the things that she did back then?
So should psychics ever make a public statement about missing people?
And my
Yes.
personal opinion, absolutely not.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely not. You don't know if you're hindering the case, right? Because as a psychic medium, you could be the greatest one where you're going to get all this information, but there could be information out there that the public is not supposed to know because that will lead to the person, whoever did it. And if you're leaking that stuff out there, that's going to hinder it. That's going to not help. So no, absolutely not. And then I've had people where they've reached out and they've asked me, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't give you the information because I don't know where that information is going to end up.
Well, you and I had talked before about the two missing children in Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
And they've brought different psychics in there now.
Yeah, I'm not like I gave you what I
Yes.
had gotten.
That's why I'm not going to say what you thought.
And that was just off the cuff, kind of like what the feeling I was getting. But I knew that it wasn't going to go any further than that. And that's all I'm going to really say about that. And there's different, and I've been asked by different people different things, and I will say what I feel, but I also say, that's not something I want to go out there because, one, I don't want to be involved in it unless I'm asked by the police or something like that, or reached out by someone. So, and then it takes time. You have to. It's not an easy thing.
Well, yeah, exactly, and I don't blame you for that. That's why I didn't want to give what you
No,
had.
yeah,
What
it's
we
not
had
an
talked
easy yes or no answer. Like some, if you get such a strong feeling, yes, it's like 100%. Deep in your gut, it's there. But then there's other ones where it's like some details are like a little sketchy, and you need some time to dissect those. So yeah, absolutely not. That's the one thing I would say no. Never, never, ever, ever say that. But, when you kind of go out into you get offered a show, like say now would probably be Netflix. It wouldn't be Montel, right? And they're coming at you with a contract. You're kind of making a deal with the devil, right? And you have to be able to protect yourself as a psychic and say, no, there's certain things that I will not look at and I will not comment on. Or you just kind of find your own unique way of getting around that.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And still not violating any privacy or anything. So, yeah. So what do you think? I have my own psychic impressions about Sylvia Browne. So what do you,
I
is
think
it BS or beyond?
Probably some of both. I think a lot of her stuff was guesses.
Yeah.
I do. I think it got to a point where she was, I don't know if she was pressured into it by contracts that she had signed with networks, or if it was her own thing to, I always have to answer because they won't love me if I don't answer.
I know. I don't understand what that was. It was like she always had to answer.
Yeah. So she would never say, I don't know.
No, it was rare.
So I think for her, I would have to call more on the BS side.
Yeah. I would probably, I'd say 90% of the people would probably agree with you. But I've spoken with people that are in my field that think that she was amazing. And I was just like, okay, I haven't seen 100% that myself. I don't,
because people are quicker to point out your faults than your goods, right?
Yeah.
So, but her faults were so big that they outshone any of the good that she may have had. People talk about her and like I said, there's other people that say, look, she was fantastic. But the ones that she was wrong on, she was so wrong on such big topics.
Yeah, that's the problem. That was the problem. It wasn't like little things where it's like, I saw one where, and I laughed at this one because I was like 100%. One of the members of Montel Women stood up and said, "Hi, Sylvia. I had a dream last night that you told me I won the lottery." And she cut her off and she goes, "It wasn't me, honey. You ain't winning the lottery." And I started laughing. I'm like, that is the truest thing ever. That one was right.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the rest of the question was. The lady had the rest of it, but that one was probably the one that I was like laughing. So I could see some of the stuff that she said about people, when it's something to do with their lives, like if they wanted to ask. But there was another thing where somebody asked her about something that was going on in their home that was haunted or whatever, or something that was there. And the line that we always hear now, it's like, "It's the land, honey, it's the land." Because it was like, well, let's just put it out there. Every single home that we have here is haunted. Now, whether or not you feel the spirits in that home is up to you because of whether or not you're sensitive or what's happened in that home.
Right.
Her going out on the TV and telling the lady and bringing out like two names that we don't even know if it's associated with that home. How are you supposed to predict it? And just saying that it's this without actually going there physically. Like when somebody asks me about their home, I automatically know, yes, every house is got some kind of spirit with it because you're not the only one that's lived there. And she is absolutely right. Even if it's a brand new house, that land has had someone on it,
Right.
and it might have something energetic that's attached to it. Now, you can have a spirit that's come over from another house too. I've had it where there was a spirit that travels multiple homes because that land at one point belonged to them. So it picks and chooses. It likes to interact with this, blah, blah, blah. That was 100% true as well. But when she came up with these names, like these random names without even being there physically, I was like, listen, I really don't know what's going on too much. And unless I go there, like
Right.
unless I'm connected with that. So a lot of these predictions that she was making just out of the blue and just, these random names, I was just like, how?
Guessing.
Yeah. How? Like she's just Bernard and Georgia, like these are the two that are haunting your home, and you could tell by the person's face. They're just like,
Yep.
So let's wrap it up with Sylvia. She's just, you know what? She's our very first episode, and she's a controversial topic, and we can go on about her forever.
Oh, for sure. She really opened the doors.
Yes,
She opened those floodgates.
She kicked them open.
Yeah, right. So I'm interested to know what people think. You can tell us your thoughts. Are you think she's a prophet? You think she's a performer? Are you calling BS like I did or beyond? Let us know. thespiritloungepodcast.com.
Yes. So until next time, stay curious, stay kind, and stay spooky.
Bye.
Bye.
CKRT Country Road Radio.